episode 11 of Arcadiology, where we dig up your favorite arcade relics. My name is Jordan Carruthers, as you all know, and I am joined by my three best friends in the entire planet, the Wiggin brothers. Mr. Brad Wiggin.
What up?
Next up is Mr. Sky Wiggin.
Hey.
And you know him, you love him, Mr. Kyle Wiggin.
What's up, dudes?
Oh, what's up? He's back. Oh, boys. Always good to hop on here with you. How y'all feeling?
Feeling great, dude.
Feeling great. Yeah, doing all right.
Love it, love it. Sky, we missed you last night. Me and Kaya went out and had a. So for those, I guess you wouldn't know because this is going to be coming out later. So yesterday, as of this recording, was Valentine's Day, and me and Kyle had a very romantic Valentine's Day together, and Sky missed it.
I'm very glad I did.
How'd you guys spend
Oh
it?
man, you missed a good time. We hit the rock climbing gym, as we would typically do on Thursdays. And Sky would typically go with us, but he had to go do Valentine's Day stuff with his girlfriend. What a loser.
I know. One was my girlfriend. That's so good.
I know. So we went to the rock climbing gym where they had Valentine's Day, like, climbs that you do with another person. Like, you have to actually perform the climbs together. And so Kyle and I did a few of those. And we got a nice video of one. Maybe the day this episode gets uploaded, I'll upload that video to the Instagram and stuff.
Nice.
It actually did look pretty cool, though. Like how you... What did you guys do? You each have to pick a color and then help each other try to climb it or something?
Yeah, so they had 3 different ones, and each one had 2 different colors. And for those who've never done it, you can only climb one color the whole way up to the top. But they had these set up where they were 2 colors side by side, and you essentially had to help each other. Like, there were more or less rocks that you couldn't necessarily reach on your own, and you had to actually get yourself balanced and essentially grab your partner and help pull them up to the next one. It was pretty cool, actually.
What were the ratings for those ones? Were they like kind of like medium ratings or?
I mean, they weren't graded, but there was, I would say, like one easy one medium one, and like a hard one, more or less. We only saw one group do the hard one.
Yeah, I should be back into climbing with you guys here next week.
My dude. We just need to get Brad out there with us, man. He just won't go.
Nah, I'm not ready for it.
All right.
Maybe someday.
All right. Whatever you say. We will get into something that you are ready for, I'm sure. What other games are you playing, Brad, and everybody else?
Unfortunately, I got nothing new to offer this week. I've been mostly just playing our game for the podcast, but instead of talking about that, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to 2 other podcasts that we've been talking to, me and Jordan.
Yeah,
mostly.
I was going to bring that up to you.
Yeah, we got the first one they're called The Old Switcheroo. The hosts are Mike and JMO. They go through like Nintendo Switch Online catalog. Like, it comes with different like 64, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games that are like all included in the online service. And they're going through each of the games and just like covering them and, you know, just kind of how we're playing our games and discussing them. They're doing the same thing with those games. And we're in the process of setting up some crossovers. So some of them will be coming onto our podcast. Me and Jordan so far are going to be going over theirs to talk about some games. So should be pretty fun. And then the other one, they're called Lads of the Past Crusade. They're, you know, just another retro gaming podcast. Well, initially that's what they were, but they kind of transitioned into just pretty much anything nostalgic. They'll talk about like old like toys or whatever, maybe cartoons, whatever, just anything nostalgic. So it's definitely a good listen. I've been listening to both of those a good bit.
Yo, so I listened to whenever they were talking about us on their show.
Yeah.
And they said that we're too nice and friendly to talk about like jacking off dogs and stuff or whatever it was they were saying. Excuse me. We can talk about all kinds of crazy shit, okay? I am ready to go. I mean, I'm not gonna physically do that, but I guess if they want to talk about it, okay.
You speak for yourself, dude. I don't want any part of that.
It was something like that.
I don't remember electing Jordan to be the voice here. What the? He said, "Yeah, we're all about it. Let's all go do this." Whoa! Hey, now.
It was something along those lines. I could be slightly off, but
That's definitely sounds about right up their alley. That's kind of stuff they might bring up.
See, I'm more of a gerbil guy anyway.
As you can tell, they're a bit more unfiltered. They just kind of they just let it all out. So if you're gonna check them out, be prepared.
Also, shout out to their accents too, because those are wild. I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got nothing else. No games to bring up this time. I'll have something next time for sure, though.
Yeah, I haven't been playing too much this week, but still playing a little bit of the Unshrouded, which is that semi-new survival game that came out. Still a very good game. I'm just kind of like, they kind of put it out into like an almost, I don't want to call it an alpha. It's like an early playtest kind of. So like the game's not fully done, but you can still get it now and play it. And I've pretty much done like, I would say like 95% of everything there is to cover so far. So I'm just kind of waiting for them to, I think the game actually drops, I want to say it's like the 20th or something. I think it's this month, maybe when they actually like fully release it. But yeah, so I don't know. I've just been messing around on that, but nothing serious, and haven't been playing anything else.
Are they gonna like wipe the data when the full game releases, or is your stuff gonna carry over?
I don't think so, because they're just adding. So like, if you look at like the map size, I think what's available to play right now is, I would say, it's probably like 1/3 of what the full map's going to be, if not 1/4. And so I think everything we've done so far, everything else that's going to come after is going to be like, you're still going to like, if they would wipe it, you would just have to literally repeat everything you've just done and then start to move into the next content, because the zones are kind of like, you can go anywhere you want at any time, but the zones are kind of leveled as far as like the mobs and stuff go. So like, if you enter like the desert zone too early, like you're just going to have a rough time. So it's like, you're still going to have to repeat everything you've done before you can kind of move into the new zones anyway. So I think you're just going to keep what you have, and they're just going to update it and add on to the map, and you can just continue from where you left off.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense, rather than just making you redo it all over again. Just kind of slowly branch out and then just extend to the next zone.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to work.
All right, Sky, hop on in there. What you up to, my man?
Oh man, I've been playing Dead Cells like a madman lately.
Oh yeah.
I know B told me about it a little while ago. I think I downloaded it, but I didn't play it for a little bit. I finally jumped on. I've been playing it probably, I don't know, maybe at least the past week or two. I've been loving this game. It's awesome.
Yeah, man, I was on that for a while. I didn't get super far. I think I played like 1 or 2 playthroughs. I mean, I did a lot of like runs, but actually like complete it, then you get, once you finish like a level, you get like a boss cell or something like that. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you have to beat it, you get a boss cell, then you go to the next. It's pretty much unlocks like the next difficulty, I guess. And then you play it on like one boss cell. If you beat it again, then you have 2 boss cells, and now you have to play the game on like the second difficulty. And it gets like crazy modifiers each time. It gets harder. I think eventually it starts taking away all your healing stations. Like after every level, you get like a little healing flask you can refill. But it starts getting like more scarce, and I think eventually just take it out. So whatever life you have is all you have for the game or something. I'm only on, I think I just hit cell 3 right now. So I have 3 boss cells, and I'm getting wrecked.
Yeah, it gets crazy hard. I only had like 1 or 2, and I was already ready to tap out of it.
And wait, what is this game? Like, what type of game is this?
It's like a platformer, side-scrolling, like roguelike kind of.
Okay.
It's got some platforming in it. There are like certain sections. It's mainly, I think the game's mostly combat, like fast-paced, 2D side-scrolling combat stuff. Which the controls for this game are amazing too. Like it controls really good. So I never feel like I'm getting screwed over by controls or anything. But you're mainly hack and slash, but you have to. There's kind of like, I guess, I never played Dark Souls, but I know about it, and I know people say that game takes like a crap ton of skill or whatever, and you can learn all the patterns and beat the game like that. But this game kind of has like a little bit of Dark Souls influence, I guess, where you can memorize all the patterns and all that stuff, and you can, if you're good at the game, like you can just blitz through it, but you got to be insanely good at it. So it has that, and there's certain little sections where there are like little platforming, like whatever spikes and whatever things swirling around you have to dodge and all that. I don't know, I've been having fun with it. It's pretty cool. They have this Castlevania DLC, so I've been playing that a ton.
Yeah, it even resembles Castlevania Symphony of the Night a good bit. If that's for anyone listening that doesn't know the game, that's a good reference point, kind of the same style.
Yeah, especially I got the Alucard outfit unlocked. Now I think I'm working on trying to get the Richter outfit. You can run around and then there's like different dialogue depending on what costume you wear when you play the Castlevania DLC.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
But yeah, that's pretty much just been my main game lately, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, when I was playing it, my favorite combo, I would always get like the one of the abilities you can get with like freeze the enemies. I would just freeze everyone, then just smash them. It was like it seemed like kind of a cheap way to play, but it was fun and it worked for me.
Oh man, there's you get like weapons, shields, and then like whatever ranged weapons, throwing weapons and stuff. Then you get skills like traps and stuff. There's a trap called like a wolf trap, which if any enemy steps on it, it just stuns them, freezes them in place, and they can't move. So if you get that, and there's a weapon called the baseball bat, which like critical hits and lets you swing super fast if somebody's in a trap. So I just trap them, jump behind them, and just go to town on them with the baseball bat.
Nice.
But yeah, that's gonna be my game for a while. I think I'm liking it.
Well, boys, I don't mean to surprise you too much, but it's yeah. You already know what else I'm playing, man. It's the same one as the last like few months. I don't think there's much more I can really say about Radiant Dawn on this show, so I'm not even gonna bother. I think we can just hop right on into the episode if you boys are ready.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
I think this is gonna be a bit of a long episode tonight. I think there's a lot we can really say about this game. I think it's gonna be a fun one. So yeah, if we're all ready to go, then we're gonna get started with the reason we're here tonight. Our game for the evening is Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom. Dungeons & Dragons Tower of Doom is a 1994 1-to-4 player side-scrolling beat-em-up with role-playing elements mixed in. You're often presented with a choice of different paths to take, allowing you to complete different stages and different playthroughs, and in between stages, you get to buy weapons at a shop with silver coins that you earn throughout battle. The combat's a bit more advanced than a basic beat-em-up, I'd say, with different jumping, dashing, turning, etc. attacks, and the use of different ranged weapons that you can buy and earn. So, I feel like we're going to piss a lot of Dungeons & Dragons fans off in this episode because I've never personally played D&D, so I feel like I'm going to like mispronounce a lot of these proper nouns and misspeak a lot. But have any of you guys ever played at like any legitimate D&D before?
We have played before.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah,
A
actually.
little bit.
A little bit.
I don't remember how old we were,
I have not.
but
Yeah.
oh man.
Have had some good experiences, some bad experiences with people who took it way too serious.
Yeah, so when I say we played, we were like, we kind of like had a friend who was like our age, and then he had like a cousin that was a little bit older than us. And so like our friend's cousin and his friends played, and they were a little bit older and they took it very seriously. And we were just kind of like learning about this at this time. And we were like, all right, sure, like we'll check it out. So we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. And so we just kind of went into it like just trying to have a good time. We didn't really care. And like we didn't understand there was like a whole whatever like they've been playing has been going on for like months, and this is like a whole thing. And so we were just kind of in it like just whatever, like didn't really matter much to us. And I don't remember, maybe you guys remember a little bit better than me, but they just took it very seriously. And we were kind of like half joking about a lot of the things, like as our personalities are, and like they weren't really finding it very funny.
That's an understatement.
And I can't remember, Skylar, I think it was you, so maybe you can tell this part of it, but didn't your character, like your character sheet get torn up or try to get destroyed or something?
I mean, I don't want to trash talk too much, but basically, when your character dies, they had a random roll, I guess, that none of us knew about. Like, I think it's their personal roll that they take your character sheet, like it's theirs now because your guy's dead. And I was like, I didn't see the point of that. I was like, nah, I mean, what if I want to play again? I just want to use this guy, and like telling me, no, you can't do that. Like, he died, so we need your sheet. I was like, well, that's kind of dumb. Can't I just take it home and not use him again? Maybe I can play with somebody else. And they got real mad at that, I guess. They weren't down with that.
Oh boy.
Got in like a big argument because I wouldn't hand my sheet over for some reason. And like almost borderline got into a fight with this guy because he wouldn't let it go. Like, I was like, dude, we're just playing a game. Like, why do you need much? Why are you so worked up about taking the sheet from me, man?
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, when we say like taking your sheet or your paper or your character, like this is literal. So it's a literal piece of paper that they like printed and copied out. So it had like an outline, and it would have like your character's name and what level they were and how much experience you had and like your gear, like your items. Like you would write it all down on a piece of paper, and that was your character. So when you go to play the game, you bring that paper with you. They may have kept the papers there at this kid's house. So when you show up, they just pull all the characters out and you continue the game where you left off. Yeah, at some point they were trying, like Skylar's character had died, and so they were trying to literally take his piece of paper and like tear it up and like throw it out and be done with that character altogether.
It wasn't like I was taking like a limited resource from him. It was a piece of paper I could have printed out at home or something. I was like, oh, I just want to take it home, like get all my stats off it. I was like, maybe I can just play with a different group too or something. And yeah, they weren't happy with that. So I was like, yeah. I think eventually we just left. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say like this dude's gonna try to fight me over this. I was like, this is dumb. So yeah, that was the bad experience, I guess. Before that point, it was cool though. We played with them, I think, a couple times before that. Never had a problem. We were cool. But when that happened, like they got really weird. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Like this guy's trying to fight me over a piece of paper.
It got very awkward. They were like older than I can't remember how old we were.
I was probably, I want to say I was around, I don't know, 15.
Yeah.
Between 14, 15, or 16. Something like that. I was like a young teenager.
Yeah.
So you guys were like, what? You and Brad were probably, what, 14 or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it was very awkward. It was like, what is... All right. I don't think we're going to play this anymore. I'm just going to go skateboarding.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to take my board and, go do some kickflips or something, man. I'm out of here.
We'll start our own D&D campaign. Forget those guys. And we'll go fight their characters.
If we're gonna do that, I'd rather play some Shadowrun. That's more up my alley.
The Shadowrun was cool. We played that with the same group of guys, and never had an issue with playing that game. I don't know.
That sounds not as important.
I liked it more, honestly. I thought the cyberpunk was cooler than like the fantasy stuff, personally.
Yeah, I like the futuristic with the tech and the magic mixed together. Such a cool concept. I like that a lot.
I'm more of a medieval guy myself.
That's cool too. I like them all. I preferred the Shadowrun when we did like that kind of stuff.
All right, so I guess we can talk about the actual arcade game that we're playing.
I guess.
Yeah, little detour there.
That got a lot deeper than I expected. When I said like, "Oh, if you guys ever played it," I was ready for you to say, "Nope." All right, well here's what's gonna happen now.
There you go.
Apparently, you guys are D&D nerds. What do you know? All right, so first thing I want to bring up is the first decision that you make in the game. So there's 4 playable characters. There's the fighter. He's kind of balanced, but he has good range and power, and he has the most health of any character. There's the elf, who has short range and weak power, but capable of strong magic attacks. The cleric is kind of similar to the elf, just with different spells, I believe, and I think he's also the best blocker, I read. And there's the dwarf, who's the strongest, but has the shortest range. So I'm pretty sure at least Sky and Brad, I think you said you've tried out a few. Does everybody have a favorite character that they've used?
I only played the elf.
I played the dwarf for my first playthrough, and then I'm actually, before we started recording, I'm near the end with the elf. I wanted to try out a different class. So I didn't quite beat it with the elf yet, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm probably a couple levels from the last boss or whatever.
How do you guys like the elf character?
Kind of cool. It's nice change from the dwarf. Just all that magic seems super helpful.
As I said, I only played the elf, so I don't know what it's like to not have the magic.
I played the game the whole way through twice because it's a pretty long game. It's a bit longer than any one that we've done so far. I feel like about an hour or so. I used the fighter for both of them. So I did briefly try one with the dwarf for a few minutes and just got my ass kicked with him because his range is terrible. So I was all about the fighter. I love the characters who have the most health. So I was all about him. He was pretty easy to use overall.
Yeah, I played with the dwarf, the fighter, and was it the priest? Is that what he was?
The cleric.
Cleric, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, I tried all 3 of them. Well, the thing with the dwarf, while he does have like the worst range, I think he attacks faster than anyone else. So when you start like spamming your combo, no one can really like stop you. So that's kind of nice. But you do have that stumped range. It makes it a little hard to hit some of the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think the cleric was my favorite. He had a lot of cool abilities and stuff. Initially, I didn't want to use them because I didn't want to figure. There's already so much with this game, like so many different attacks and ways to approach the battles, that I wasn't ready to learn like all these different spells. But he has some really cool stuff to do, so that was actually, I think, the funnest playthrough. With him, he has he has a bunch of different spells, which I guess I didn't use the elf, but you guys said she has some spells as well.
Yeah.
I think they have different sets of stuff. Like he has a spell. It's called Turn Undead, and any of like some of the enemies you fight, like these green zombie looking guys or the skeletons, if you use that spell, it just kills all of them on the screen instantly. But it was kind of risky because if they like hit you while you're doing it and interrupted it, it would stop from like casting. But you could just like clear out the whole screen because sometimes it gets pretty overwhelming with those particular enemies. So that was probably one of the more useful things.
Oh, they actually interrupt that spell?
Yeah, any of the other spells I did, it like kind of freezes the game and like you can cast it. Yeah, but for that specific spell, you had to actually pull it off without getting hit.
Oh man, that's rough.
It is, but at the same time, with how useful it can be and how many enemies it can kill, it's kind of feel a little cheap if you could just, you know what I mean, stop the whole game and kill them all without any consequence. So yeah, I mean, it balanced it a bit. It wasn't just like a free kill. You had to actually position yourself correctly to make it useful.
Well, I wonder if there's any overlap in the spells. Like if the cleric and the elf had like anything similar. She had like fireball, lightning bolt, polymorph was pretty useful.
Nah, he didn't have any of those.
Maybe they all have their own sets of spells then. I think you can get spells on the rings though. Everybody can pick rings up with like spells on them already.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I never knew what those rings were gonna do. Like I never knew what any of the magic attacks actually were. Once I got to a tough fight, I just equipped the ring and pressed the button and hoped it did something cool.
I mean, after a while using them, I start to remember them. I think there's a ring that just says like MM, which just means magic missile, but they couldn't fit all the words on there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the elf spells, magic missile. It just homes in and hits an enemy. I think it hits them twice actually. It looks like it hits them twice whenever you cast it. But then there's a ring version of that. She has like a healing one. I think it's CSW. I'm pretty sure that's like cure like serious wounds. I believe that's what the spell is.
Okay, yeah, the cleric had that as one of his default skills.
Oh, okay. There's that. I think there's like a cure light wounds also. It just gives you a little bit of HP. I think that's all of her spells.
I thought there was another, I can't think of the name of it, but it was like Cloud something or other.
Oh, Cloud Kill.
Yeah.
I don't know what that does yet. I just picked it up on the playthrough I'm doing before we started. And I'm saving it for the final boss because I don't know what it is, but I want to hit him with it.
Do you know what it does, Kyle?
No, I think I definitely had it. I actually don't know if I used it. But I think I was just going to make something up, but now I don't feel like doing it. So my answer is no. I don't know what it does.
Damn, dude. You let us down.
That's very
We're supposed to be the elf master.
Oh, man.
The cleric had a couple other things. He had like two different things that kind of did the same effect. The one would like daze the enemies. That like put like I think some of the enemies would do it to you. It would kind of like stun you. And then there was another one that kind of held them and like wrapped them up in like something and kept them from moving. And then I think one of my favorite ones was called Sticks to Snakes. And you just like throw out these three little snakes and they would run around and just like attack enemies for you. It didn't last too long, but then they'd just like die and turn back into sticks.
Cleric sounds cool, man. I want to try him out.
I kind of wish I would have tried some of these magic characters. The game just takes so long. I didn't want to do it again.
Yeah, I think it's just like the nature of those kind of games. Like those beat 'em ups are really slow paced, I guess. Everything feels slow and sluggish. That's just one of the downsides of that style of game. They're super slow.
Oh, there was another spell called Ice Storm.
That's right. I think I have one of those too. I haven't used it yet because I don't want to waste it because that final boss is going to take 10 years to kill. So.
Which I think it just does what you think it's going to do. You take a guess right now what you think it's going to do.
I was hoping you were going to make something up and tell us.
Well, no, I'm going to tell you what it does, but I want him to just say what he thinks it does based on its name.
Based on the name, that could be anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got nothing? Somebody take a guess. What do you think Ice Storm does?
How could you guess?
Bunch of icicles
fire
come across the
coming
screen.
Fire coming from the ground, clearly.
Yeah.
All right, and this has been Arcadiology.
Does it spawn a bunch of ice cubes?
Yeah, Ice Cube the rapper comes out from the side of the
that's
screen.
what I mean. Yeah, an army of Ice Cube.
You got it, dude.
Ice Storm.
NWA is coming out.
It just releases the next NWA album.
Oh, Sky, how you're saying you're saving your spells? Are you talking about like the scroll things you pick up, or just like your actual character's spells?
The scrolls are like your natural spells, right?
Well, I think it might refresh them. I don't know. Maybe the rings is what I'm referring to. Actually, are you saving everything, or just like the rings?
Yeah, I started saving it all. With my dwarf playthrough, I know that final boss is pretty crazy.
I got one thing to break through if you didn't notice. If you every time you use another credit, it gives you all your spells back. So you should just be kind of throwing them off at all chances you get if you're dying a lot, like I was.
Does it reset them?
Yeah, it refreshes, it replenishes them all. Not the rings, but like your actual character's abilities, like
But like that won't stack up with the stuff I picked up already?
the stuff you picked up. Those stay in your inventory like they always do until you use them up. But yeah, like your default skills, like my cleric, how he had like the heal, and he actually had another move that like boosted his attack. I forget what it was called, but it just made you hit harder. It was called strike, I think. But yeah, if you
Okay.
use that when you die and you use another credit, it all replenishes. You have it all back over again.
So can you pick up a scroll that has strike on it?
I don't know. I did have like 2 or 3 stacked up at one point, but sometimes I'd die and I'd come back and I'd get another 2. So I don't really know exactly how it worked, but I know every time I died, I would have like a bunch of spells again.
Huh. Yeah, I thought I could just keep piling up, not having to use them until I finally got to the boss.
Maybe, but I feel like you're better off just using them. I mean, unless you're like one coining this game, which I'm assuming none of us probably did. I feel like you're better off just using them because every time you die, you get them back again.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's like your magic missile. It's like a base skill. If you start with like 3 of them, if you don't use any of them and you die and come back, then you just still have 3. But if you would spam all 3 magic missiles and then die, when you come back, you get 3 more.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that's how it worked.
Tell you what, man. Like with how different these 4 characters are, I think of any game that we've played, this is like the one I would absolutely love for the 4 of us to play together.
Yeah, I agree. With like each class has different abilities, different ways to play. That would actually be a lot of fun.
Yeah, like doing turtles together was fun whenever we did that, but like just with the differences in these characters, I think it'd be a great time to bust out the arcade and fire this one up together.
Yeah, I'm down. Turtles was so mindless because there's not really like a lot of variety. You just kind of all just smash the same button and run forward.
Imagine if this game had like a turtle's skin on it.
Yeah.
I wonder how like the shops in between stages and stuff work if you do four players.
It probably just has 4 little hands or whatever. You just select whatever you want to run out of gold.
Yeah, everyone's just a big free for all. Everyone's just all over the map, all over the screen.
It'll look like the character selection of Smash Bros.
Yeah, there you go.
You want to explain the shop real quick?
The shop, yeah. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of this game. So as I said, there are some like kind of RPG elements mixed into the game.
Wait, can I
and one of
explain the
those
shop?
is sure.
Sucks.
Wow,
All right, moving on.
I thought it was neat. But anyway, yeah, you can collect silver pieces throughout the stage from defeating enemies. In between each stage, it takes you to a shop. I mean, it's really simple. It's not like anything extravagant. There's different range weapons in the game you can use. There's daggers, hammers, arrows, and burning oils. And in the shop, you can buy all of those as well as a healing potion. I think you can have 9 of each item at a time. But yeah, just between stages, you kind of just use your silver coins to restock up on your range attacks, and you move on. I mean, it's real quick and simple, but I thought it was kind of neat.
Yeah, I'd pretty much save my gold and just get the potion just to replenish my HP. That was my main focus.
Now, can the magic classes use these ranged attacks as well, or is that just like the fighter and the dwarf? Can everybody use like the daggers and hammers and all that?
No, there's some restrictions.
Okay.
Really?
Like what?
The cleric could not use the bow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think you can use the sword either. I know I could throw like that mace thing that kind of arcs up and hits like bounces off enemies' heads. You can use the oil and that, but I don't think you can use the sword, and I know you definitely cannot use the bow.
Are they even in the shop for him whenever he is there?
Yeah, unfortunately they are. I was hoping they would like switch it out for something you could use, but they're just there, and you try to click on them, and it doesn't let you buy it.
Okay.
I know the dwarf and the elf can both use everything that I've seen.
Yeah.
The fighter can as well.
So the cleric is the only one that has limitations.
I guess, yeah, it's kind of weird.
His magic's too buff, man.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it was still worth it. I didn't use the items all that much. On my one think like in my second playthrough, I think I used the warrior maybe, or the fighter, whatever he is. I made it like to the end of the game and I had 9 of everything because I was just holding them all, hoarding all my items.
Okay, well, I'll ask first. What's everybody's favorite ranged attack that you can buy?
Like just out of the physical things there.
Yeah, like out of the ones you can buy in the shop, not counting the magic. What are your favorite ones of those?
Let's get into the metaphysical.
You want to get into metaphysical? No, I think probably the bow.
I like the hammers.
Yeah,
There's
Kyle
no way you
likes
like
those
the
straight line
hammers.
shots.
Dude, hammers are legit, bro.
I love the hammers.
Toss them up, bonk them on the head real quick.
There's no way.
Dude, hammers shred.
The hammer's sick because it covers so much area. Like so it throws it up into the air, and then it kind of bounces a few times. So it's gonna hit anything in front of you, like no matter where it's at.
Dude, if anyone was ever chasing me and I had to throw a hammer at them, I would never throw it 30 feet into the air and hope it lands on their head. I would throw it in a straight line
that's
at
the
them,
thing.
dude. Like every other thing in the game. The hammer makes no sense.
I don't like the daggers and the bow because it's just such a straight line shot. And I know you got the 360 no scope kind of thing going for you. You love that, but I'm no good with that. I just like the hammer. You just chuck it up there and it hits anything.
Bro, this is D&D. Hammers don't go straight.
Dude, I don't know. That hammer was whack.
You can hold a hammer back. You can throw it as hard as you can straight ahead, and it'll still arc up in the air.
Dude, I threw that thing one time. It was like
That's D&D
Next.
physics.
I generally liked the bow just because it was more reliable. I felt like to shoot it straight across. But for one of the battles in particular, it was like the black dragon you thought. I like the hammer for him because it was kind of hard to hit him with straight attacks, and it would just kind of launch right up at him.
Well, that's fair because the dragon's flying in the air, so
Right.
the hammer makes sense. But everything else
Yeah.
in the game was like walking at you in a straight line.
No way, dude. The hammer is sick. I loved it.
I did like the hammer.
I also kind of like the burning oils too. I mean, they admittedly kind of suck because it only hits the spot right in front of you, but it's pretty satisfying to catch the enemy on fire, and then they're kind of stunned for a second as well. I thought they were kind of fun to use.
I'm 50-50 on those oils because half the time I would throw it and they wouldn't touch it, and then one would jump behind me and hit me into my own oil fire, and then I would just burn myself. I'm like, oh man, that was a waste.
I do like how it kind of I think the oils worked well for crowd control. If you had way too many enemies in front of you, you just toss that oil out there in front of you, and it kind of helps get them away from you for a bit.
I always used it to turn my arrows into fire arrows.
I didn't know you could do that.
This he's bullshitting us.
Oh, I thought you were serious.
For
We
once,
found a combination we don't know about.
for once, I wanted to be the one that figured something out.
Just made
I
it
could
up.
see it. Like if you just shot the bow through fire. I mean, I could see it being a thing, but
Nice try, but B already went through the code. That's not
Yeah,
possible.
he already knows.
B's over there with the giant paper printed out. Well, technically, this line of code.
Brad knows all this stuff.
I do got one issue with the oil though. How it with the one enemy you fight, it was one of the bosses, the troll leader. Do you guys remember that fight?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
You fight him, and then whenever you think you kill him, he gets back up, and you got to fight him again. And then these guards run out, and they start throwing fire at him to kill him. They're like, "Don't you know you got to burn the troll or something stupid like that?"
Yeah.
So
Set it on
that
fire,
my
kill it.
next playthrough, I was like, all right, I know I got to burn the troll. So at the end, I threw the fire at him when he was laying down. Before I killed him, I was just bombing him with oil. Didn't matter. They still came in and saved the day.
It is like a scripted event.
Yeah.
See, when I fought, because you fight some of these bosses over again, and when I fought the troll again in the final dungeon, that worked for me, just kind of hitting with the fire for the last shot. I don't know if it's a different situation or what, but
Yeah, I think just the first scene is scripted, like Sky said, but the second time I think it's just a regular fight. I don't think you have to burn him the second time. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know, because that's the whole thing. I think that's a thing in D&D itself. Troll, I don't know. I think I read that. It's just a thing that trolls have to be set on fire.
It makes sense, but why didn't they let me burn him the first time?
But I think when you fight him a second time, I think he gets back up a second time as well. And so if Jordan, you're saying that you hit him with fire and he did not get back up a second time during the second fight, then it worked.
Oh, dude, that might have been them trying to teach you that for the final battle or something.
Maybe,
Well, Jordan's the only guy that learned something, I guess.
for once.
I'm over here throwing hammers up into the air. Don't you know? Hammers don't go straight.
Speaking of fire, one of the most annoying things in this game is like whenever your character catches on fire. There's a few different things they can catch on fire. I think there's like a spell that turns them to stone. They can fall asleep, and you have to like violently jiggle the joystick to stop it. That always drove me nuts.
I never felt like that actually did anything. I was hitting the directional buttons, hitting the jump button and everything. I still was like shaking there like an idiot for like 10 seconds.
It does work because the first time I played, when I got hit with like the petrification spells, I guess I didn't do it all that well, and he turned to stone and it's an instant death. But when I just played it a little bit ago, I did that. I went crazy with the joystick and it stopped it. So
Yeah.
it does work. It's just
That
kind of a pain.
petrification, that is annoying.
Yeah, you got to really
Yeah, are you
like
guys
fight out of that.
like circling the joystick or just going left and right like it shows on the screen?
See, I wasn't sure because the screen shows left and right, but like it was kind of hard for me to like very like accurately do that. So
Yeah.
when I played the second time, I just went freaking ham with it. I didn't circle it. I just like shook it as much as I could.
Okay, yeah, initially I was trying to go around in circles. I didn't feel like it was working, so then I was actually following the on-screen like cue going left and right, and I felt like that helped, but I don't know.
Maybe that is it then.
But it's that fire, like I think it's towards the end of the game, the Hellhounds, those things, they were so hard to fight. Dude, they had that
They're the
flamethrower breath.
worst.
Yeah, they would catch you on fire. It was so hard to dodge something, like if they started shooting it at you, because it didn't just go like straight line, it kind of like wiggled up and down, so it covered like straight across, plus probably like a lane or two above and below. And when it hits you, then you get stunned like that, and it just felt like you get stun locked, keep getting hit by the flamethrower.
Yeah, I had that in my notes. They are by far my least favorite common enemy because there's that, and they also have a ton of health too. They take a long time to kill.
Yeah.
And typically, it's two of them on the screen at once too.
That was a nice thing about that elf. She has that polymorph spell. So if you hit one of those with it, they turn into like another animal and they just fly away or they run away.
Oh, really?
Oh man.
Yeah, you can like instant kill them with polymorph if you hit them with it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys fully explained that spell. What all does it do? It just turns anything into something else?
I use it on those. I try to save that for those hellhounds because they're crazy. If you hit them with it, it turns them into like a different animal, like a smaller, less dangerous animal, and they just like leave the screen.
And it works on what? Any animal?
I think so. I only ever hit the hellhounds with it, so I don't know.
I think it
I
works
didn't want
on,
to waste it on anything else.
any enemy that's not like a boss.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it works on undead either. It might not work on like the skeletons. I didn't try it.
Maybe it's like a counterpart to the cleric's undead skill. His works on like those type of enemies, and maybe hers works on everything else.
Yeah, maybe just like living enemies or like beasts or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds super useful, especially against them.
Any other basic enemies you guys really hated or liked?
That was my number one that I disliked. That was tough.
Yeah, that might have been the most difficult one. I mean, on a little more on the annoying side was them little scorpions in the tower.
Yeah.
Like little tiny ones.
Yes, and there were also these little like bugs on one of the stages too that I think you can pretty much kill in one shot, but they're really fast and they fly around you, and those drove me nuts too. I think I fought those in the well.
Yeah, I went a different path, I think, almost every time. I don't think I really encountered them.
What about bosses? Are there any bosses that really stood out to you guys that you want to talk about, good or bad?
Beholder can go.
The Beholder?
Yes.
The big eyeball dude.
Dude, that guy was so cheap.
Yeah, he was rough.
So, did you guys all fight the Beholder?
I did
Yes.
not fight the Beholder.
Oh, man. Kyle, let's tell us what you fought then.
You lucked out.
I don't know if I did.
He did not.
Yeah, so when you get to the
Oh, I
tavern,
know you did.
before you go to the tower, they give you choices. And you can either choose to take like the safe way around to get to the tower, or you can fight a dragon. And so they gave me the choice, and I said, well, of course I'm going to fight the dragon. So I clicked that, and then another text prompt comes up, and they're really trying to deter you by saying, "Are you sure no one's ever beat the dragon?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not no one, so I'm gonna go beat the dragon." And then another text pops up, and it says, "Are you sure no one's ever even scratched the dragon?"
Jeez.
They really don't want you to fight that thing.
No,
I
they
said,
don't.
good thing I'm not looking to scratch a dragon. I'm going to kill him. And I think it was at least 3, it might have been 4 times they made me choose between fighting this dragon or just going like the long way and just whatever this other guy is that you guys fought.
Mhm.
But I was determined to fight the dragon. So I get to the dragon. You just immediately go. So there's no like stages to get to him. It's just now you're just fighting this dragon. And he's massive. And it's one of those like you're on the platform and he's like behind the platform kind of things. And he's just massive. So it's just his giant head and his 2 hands. At first you're like fighting him for a while. And he has no health bar. So like you really don't know what's happening. I'm like hitting him, but like he does like maybe some like a little bit of a flinch kind of, but it doesn't like stop him. He's like still attacking you the whole time. And I have no idea if like now I've like entered this sort of joke in the game where like you actually cannot kill the dragon and I'm just wasting my time until I die. Cause I'm like, I've died. Like, I think when I got to him, I don't want to reveal all my coins yet, but I will say I probably spent 10 coins just fighting the dragon. And so you're attacking him and trying to dodge things, and he just keeps killing you because he has like a lot of like one-shot mechanics and it like covers the whole screen, and you have no idea if you're doing damage to him or not. And he's also like mocking you the whole time. He's like texts are popping up, but then finally he says like, I can't believe you made it this long, whatever else he says, and now he has a health bar which is full. So like anything you were doing to him before, like he might have had like a tiny bit taken out, but it was like nothing. But now you actually have to fight the dragon, and he has a health bar. Whatever, you go through and you fight him and eventually kill him. But at one point I was almost ready to assume that the game I was in like a never-ending loop, like I took the wrong choice and it was a joke. Yeah, I don't know what you guys fought, but I don't imagine it was harder than the dragon.
Yeah, we fought a pretty basic boss.
I fought him my first playthrough.
Oh, how'd it go for you, Sky?
About the same as Kyle. Bunch of cheap kills. Dragon. Dude, I got like caught into a loop where he would bite or claw me or whatever. I hit the ground when I stand up. He moves his head around for like a second real quick, shakes his head, and he comes down and grabs you with his mouth and like chomps on you. So he chomped me, picked me up, shook me around, and dropped me. And I stood back up and tried to swing, and he just moved his head, chomped me again. He like chomped me like 6 times in a row. I couldn't move.
Wait, so you did fight the dragon?
Yeah, when I played the dwarf the first time I fought him.
Oh, I was under the impression that you guys didn't even see the dragon.
Oh, no, I did the first time. And that's why the second time I skipped him, because I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I did not like it. But then I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be easier, because they said, instead of the dragon, you could take the long path around the mountain. I was like, hey, that sounds nice. Let's take the long path. Maybe it's a nice, easy couple levels, fight some little guys. Then I get to the beholder on that path. I'm like, oh my god, it's just more cheap, stupid crap. Because he has an instant kill. He petrifies you. Like Jordan said, if you don't shake that joystick like a madman, you just die every time. And I guess I wasn't doing it fast enough, because that thing pretty much instant killed me every single time.
Were you using an actual joystick, or were you using a D-pad?
No, I'm using my D-pad.
So that's probably why it's probably not able to do that fast enough.
I mean, Beholder still felt just as cheap as the dragon to me, personally.
Yeah, that was the toughest part with Beholder, was he would hit you with those spells that you had to kind of shake yourself out of. But I mean, it sounds like compared to the dragon, it's nothing. I mean, you do the path around the mountain. So Kyle, I think you said if you do the dragon route, it's not even a stage; it's just the dragon fight.
Yes.
If you do the path around the mountain, you actually do a full stage, and then the Beholder at the end, which is, I mean, he has cheap attacks, but overall, it's still like a pretty basic boss fight. So. Sounds like the dragon is definitely not the way you want to go.
Yeah, I'm watching the Beholder fight now. And I mean, clearly whoever I'm watching is like one crediting this whole game, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But that fight looked pretty easy. It looked like the petrification, if you just turn the other way, it doesn't do anything.
I never know it's about to happen until it already hits me. I'm like, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, it happens so quick.
I'm clearly just watching, the world's best player, so.
I can't believe somebody could one credit that game. That's amazing.
Yeah, we think that every game, and there's always somebody. I mean, we know a guy with JJ Squawkers.
Hey, I know a guy.
I know a guy. Any other bosses stand out to you guys? The one I want to mention is the Shadow Elf. That guy sucked. I hated that fight. And you had to fight him twice, too.
Yeah, that guy was
he
annoying
was a
for
little tough.
sure.
He was so hard to hit. He just teleports all around the screen. He'll teleport right above you and attack you. He parries your attacks constantly. He was brutal.
When he gets low health, he gets faster too.
Yeah, he was rough, man. I had to hit him with a lot of my ranged attacks to kind of, chip him down a bit. That was the easiest thing for me.
With the priest, I keep going the priest. Doesn't you guys know what I'm talking about? He would
Yeah.
have like
It's a cleric.
the elf would like go
Actually.
invisible sometimes, so you wouldn't be able to like see him. But I'd throw those little snakes out, and they'd find him for me and knock him out of his invisibility spell. So it made him a little bit easier to manage with. And then whenever he like speeds up, I think it's just like a spell he uses, so it's limited use. It doesn't last too long. I just kind of tried to avoid him as long as I could until that wore off. Then you fight him again, because whenever he's sped up like that, it's so hard to fight him. During that and from there on after, that's when the difficulty felt a little bit of a spike. I feel like it would have been nice if it just like ended there, to be honest.
I mean, all I did was I just polymorphed him into a dog, and I sent him to that other podcast, and, well, you boys know what happens then.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
The lads got a hold of him.
Now he's having the last laugh, Shadow Elf.
Oh, hey, by the way, I just want to point out, so, as always, I have a playthrough of this playing in the background, and the guy I'm watching did, in fact, use his oil on the first troll fight, and it ended the fight.
That's weird. I bombed them with like 9 of them because I had them all stocked up, and it did not end the fight for me.
Did you hit him with it when he was on the ground already, or did you get the final hit?
When he was on the ground.
Yeah, that's how he did it. He was already depleted and on the ground, and he did it, and it worked for him.
That's kind of cool that they add stuff like that in there.
So those like soldiers didn't come in and say anything at all?
Nope, not for this guy.
Wait, you're sure this is the
Interesting.
first time you fought him and not the second?
Yep, the battle on the ship on the top of the boat.
Yeah, it does. It does kill him. Oh, this one hit him with the fire when he was low HP, and it finished him off.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
saying.
you might have to take his last bit of health away with that.
What I did was knock him down, deplete it completely, and then throw the fire on him, and it didn't work for me.
I'm pretty sure that's what this guy did, I thought.
Weird.
Could be imagining it, but...
Maybe I just had my placement off. Maybe I just missed him. I don't know. It is kind of hard to determine where like you're gonna land at a projectile with like moving up and down the screen.
I don't know. Who knows? It's weird.
Interesting. Well, I guess it does work. Oh, but right after you beat him, it goes to like the swamp level, I think, where there's like all those ghouls, like the purple zombie looking guys. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where the black dragon is.
Yeah. So since I was using the cleric, that whole section, I would just keep spamming that turn undead thing, and it would just kill them all. I didn't have to fight any of them on that run. It was nice.
That's awesome.
That's OP.
Yeah.
That black dragon fight was kind of fun though at the end of that stage.
Yeah, it was
a little
tricky.
tough, but
His breath kept. I think it was instant kill, like that green breath he would shoot at you, or was it just her?
not quite. If you were at full health, it would take you down to maybe like a quarter or like an eighth left.
Yeah, he would always tag me with that.
You know what was really good against the dragon though, Kyle? Bouncing
Oh,
hammer.
Hammers, dude.
Yeah, that was the move for
Bouncing
him.
hammer, bro.
That's where I used all mine, all 9 of them right in a row.
So B, you never played Diablo 2, right?
I have. It's been a while.
Oh, I mean, you were basically playing a Hammerden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the cleric throwing the hammers, man. You were Spammerden.
Is that what he does?
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about the namesake of the game, the actual Tower of Doom, which I think they called the Sable Tower in the game or something. I'm sure D&D players know what that is. My biggest issue with the tower, so this is after you defeat the Shadow Elf, it goes right to the tower. Which, first of all, one other thing I want to point out, one of my favorite little things here, whenever you go to the shop right before the tower, the shopkeeper very specifically says to avoid the tower because nobody has ever returned alive, despite the fact the tower apparently has just risen from the ground right before. So I don't know how anyone could have gone there and not come back if it wasn't there before, but anyway, you go to the tower and it's kind of just it's not necessarily a boss rush, but it's kind of just like a standard enemy rush in a way. Like you're kind of just going through over and over again, just like one like small stage at a time of just fighting enemies. And I think there's also some extra doors on each stage too, where you can go in, kind of get a few upgrades and whatnot. But typically those upgrades have like traps in the chests as well, so you have to be careful of that. But then you get to the top of the tower where you fight the final boss. You get to fight his minions first. And then you fight the final boss, which I don't know if I'm saying it right. Deimos or something is his name. He's like the Archlich, I believe it said. And I'm glad I didn't play this game as a small child because this dude would have scared the piss out of me as a kid. He was creepy looking as all hell, man. But he was cool.
So we're just gonna gloss right over the mud monsters you fight right before him.
That's what I meant when I said you have to fight his minions first. But yeah, you can talk about the mud monsters if you want.
I mean, I just got to point out that did anyone else notice how when they go underground, the one distracts you and the other one comes up and just pinches your nutsack?
Well, the elf is a female, so I didn't have
Oh,
a
no.
nutsack.
He just peekaboo pops out of the ground. Like
That's
a weirdo.
assault, brother.
It's not even an attack, dude. He just comes up, he's like, got your balls, then he goes back underground and he's gone, dude.
It's like back in the day when you hang out with everybody and you just randomly get sack tapped. You're like, oh! Everybody's on the lookout.
What's the capital of Thailand?
You just gotta keep your balls safe, and they weren't too bad to kill.
Balls. How'd you guys feel about that final boss, though? The Demos, however you say it. He was pretty interesting.
Yeah, he has that, doesn't he have like that one-shot lightning bolt move or something?
He has, I don't know if it's one shot or not, but I know what attack you mean.
Close enough, probably.
I think the Shadow Elf has the same attack.
Yeah, that guy's pretty crazy, though. I'm not looking forward to fighting him again with the elf this time. I'll probably finish the game up after we finish this episode real quick.
He has a bunch of attacks. He has the lightning attack. He has a few different fire attacks, which is annoying because then you have to shake the joystick to get out of it. He has Animate Dead, where he just summons a few ghouls to fight you. They're not that bad. Has an attack where he makes copies of himself. Anything I'm forgetting? Besides for like basic melee attacks.
I think that's... Does he summon more enemies or no? I don't remember.
Yeah, the Animate Dead.
Yeah, he brings like
has
skeletons or something.
The zombies, the little like purple zombies.
That's right.
Yeah, when he's doing like his meteor shower, Sky, just for a little tip for you when you finish your round here, if you like run to the bottom left or right hand corner of the screen, you can completely dodge like the whole meteor attack.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually had no idea. I was just the video I was watching. That's what the person did.
I thought it was pretty easy to avoid anyway.
I mean, it's kind of random. I thought it was like targeting where you're standing, but it just seems like it kind of randomly scatters all over the place. You just got to get lucky where you're walking. So I mean, it's more of luck rather than skill on it.
You can see the shadow coming down from the shadow on the ground from the fireball coming though, so you can kind of move out of the way of it.
Right, but sometimes there's so many. Like by the time you move out of one, you're getting hit by another.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not clear what all you can block either.
I mean, I found the easiest way actually to avoid all of his attacks was to not fight him.
Uh-oh.
What did you do?
Oh.
Uh-oh,
So,
hold on.
What had happened was after I fought the dragon, right, the one that you have to like keep saying yes to fight, I fought the dragon, and then it took me to the start of the tower, and it froze on me.
Oh no.
But it wasn't like froze like anytime I pressed any buttons, it would just speed up time.
Wait, what character has a time spell?
Yeah, and it would just, that's all it would do. It was like 4xing the time.
Sounds like you're activating a hotkey on accident or something.
Well, I tried to like go over, because I have dual monitors, so I tried to go over, like pause the game, go to the other monitor, like I tried a lot of different things before eventually nothing worked, and it was just every button I pressed would just speed up time.
You need to start using save states just as like a backup in case you're gonna like something goes wrong. You can just reload where it crashed.
But I tried to at least when I exhausted all other options, I tried to just save state, and then I could just try to reopen it, and hopefully it would be like normal when I reopened. But it wouldn't even save state.
It's unfortunate.
It was unfortunate. So I did not even play I didn't even go into the tower.
What happened was they said, nobody comes back alive. Kyle goes, all right, that's good enough for me later.
Good enough for me.
I'm not going in,
Well,
man.
I guess I'm not walking in there then.
I think killing the dragon was enough, dude.
You know who I am? I'm Elf.
I think so far you're the only one who's really had issues with Their game's freezing.
That's the only time it's ever happened to me.
No, it didn't. Your game froze for WrestleFest, remember?
Yeah.
Did it?
You got a DNF. Did not finish for
Yeah.
WrestleFest.
Well, I'm glad it happened on WrestleFest. I wish it would
Yeah,
have happened in the
whatever.
first 1 minute.
I mean, everybody freezes after a stunner. Come on.
Yeah. But there's that. Don't pay too much attention to it. You guys can move on.
So, one thing I can read here, right from the Wikipedia itself, I figured I would just read the plot of the game. And I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce a lot of things, and I apologize to all you nerds out there in advance. So, here's the plot of the game. The Republic of Darokin in Mystara is under a terrible siege as the number of monsters and their attacks rise. A group of 4 adventurers step forth to rescue various areas, then are sent by the merchant lord Corwin Linton to investigate the attacks, revealed to be masterminded by the Archlich Demos.
Debo. Call him Debo.
Debo. Eventually, the adventurers make their way to Debo's Tower of Doom and ultimately destroy him. So there's the plot of the game for anyone wondering. I don't know how bad I butchered some of those words. As I said, there is a lot of proper nouns in this game. I don't remember like any of the names or towns that I went to at all. There was just too much to remember.
Actually, that makes sense now. When I got to the final boss, the text box pops up and he goes, "Where's Craig at?" I was like, "Who's Craig?" Now it makes sense.
It all comes together.
I haven't seen that in way too long.
I don't think we really covered just like the basic moveset outside like the special characteristics for like the different abilities and stuff. But there's
go for it.
There's so much stuff you can do. It's kind of crazy. This is what I feel like most beat 'em ups I would enjoy more if they had options like this. Like you can obviously just do your standard attack, your jump, and you can double tap forward to dash, which those are all pretty standard. And then you can like duck if you hold in down and press jump. Then you can let go of that and hit forward and attack, and you do like a lunging attack out of your crouch. And if you hit forward and attack at the same time, you do a power attack, which was really useful, I thought, in the beginning. Like those little goblins, you can just one-shot them with that rather than just like keep knocking them down. And then there are a couple other things I didn't really use. Whenever you're crouching, I don't remember the directional input, but you can do like a roll forward or backwards just to kind of move across the screen faster. And then whenever you jump, you can hold in down and attack and like put your weapon straight down and kind of bounce off the enemy's heads. So there's so many different ways to like approach combat, which mixed it up and made it a lot more fun to me.
And I think if you hold in up and hit jump, you put your shield up like you block.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't mention the regular block where you hold in back and attack and you can just like walk backwards holding your shield. I didn't know you can block above you. That would have probably been pretty useful.
Oh wait, no, you can't. You don't block above you.
Oh no, what were you saying then?
If you just hold in the up direction and hit jump, they just put their shield out in front of them and you walk around.
Oh, okay, same thing. I guess it worked if you hold him back and do it as well, because that's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
I definitely use a lot of jump attacks. I wasn't so great with like the dash and lunging attacks, and I never really knew specifically how you were supposed to block, but I did do it on accident a few times.
My main strategy in the whole game, I pretty much just like crouch and do the lunge attack because it like covers so much of the screen and it's like a safe way to approach the enemies. I was saying if you hold in the down and jump and then you do the forward dash out of it, it was so useful. I thought I would just kind of spam that all over the place. It made my one run through much easier, I thought. Did any of you guys really mess with like the different options, or you just kind of button mash your way through it?
I mostly just did the basic combo with a little bit of jump attacks.
Yeah, I did the typical just move up and down and then just use your normal attack. And I took
Turtles method.
all the hammers and I just threw those in the trash.
Jeez.
Yeah, but you threw them in an upward arc towards the trash.
Yeah, they didn't go straight into the trash. No,
No wonder you couldn't beat the game, man. That's why. You got rid of the best weapon.
probably.
Like, why can't I throw these things in the freaking trash? Every time he throws it, they just arc up over the trash can. Like, I can't get them in there.
So here's a random question. What do the keys do that you collect? Did anybody figure that out?
I don't know. Did you need them for some of the chests, maybe? I felt like you could just break every chest open.
I don't know. I didn't see any time in the game where I had to use a key for anything, but I collected 2 of them.
Did you have to use them to open those doors in the tower, like them extra rooms?
No,
I don't know then. I'm not sure.
clearly still some stuff we haven't found yet.
Probably. There's a lot to this game. Like that's a game you actually need multiple playthroughs to like check everything out.
Yeah, dude. And that's another thing we can kind of talk about. I know I briefly brought up at the beginning the whole branching past thing. So, Kyle, you played once. I played twice. So when I played the second time, I took the exact same path I took the first time, just so I kind of already knew what to expect, just to kind of try to help my score a bit. Brad and Sky, did you guys pretty much typically take different paths or the same path whenever you played multiple times?
To be honest, I don't really remember. The first time I went through, I was kind of reading the story and stuff, but then by the time I played it for like the fourth time, I was just kind of clicking through. So I don't really know the exact paths I took. I know the one I took, like the mine. There was like a little mine cart, like it looked like a little railroad track and stuff. That's the one path I generally took whenever you had like the 3 options. But outside of that, I don't remember. I mean, if I hear some of the options, I might know, but just off the top of my head, I don't really know.
First playthrough with the dwarf, I think I went to the well, and then this playthrough with the elf, I did the what is it, like limestone cavern or something like that? I think is what it was called.
There's a 3-part option here. A series of limestone caverns, an abandoned mine on the outskirts of town, or an old well at the edge of town. You can pick between those 3 to go.
I could just tell you quickly all the choices I made. Every choice was fight. I didn't want anybody's help. I wasn't going to any towns. I was just fighting everything. So every choice was just immediately go fight whatever is there. And then when you have the 3 choices of, it kind of makes it seem like where do you want to start, but I don't think it actually goes that way. It's just when there's 3 choices, you pick one. That's the only one that you do. So it's not like you're doing the other 2 just in a different order. But I chose to do the well because my thought process was you got to start at the water. Because if they're in the water, the whole town's going to die. So we got to get the water clean first.
I always did the well.
Yeah, the way it was worded, didn't it make it seem like you're gonna do them all or something, but you just do one for that specific section?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm watching this part where the guy fights the red dragon. His health bar is enormous.
Yeah, the dragon was not fun.
It like goes off the screen.
You got like that insta kill fire breath. I think that one is like an insta kill.
Yeah. You also fight him for like 5 minutes before he even has a health bar. And you don't even know if you're hurting him.
Yeah, that was pretty wild fight.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't pick him.
I like whenever like every time you enter a new area, your like guy would have his weapon like put away. You have to hit attack to pull it out.
Dude, I hated that.
You hated that?
That got me once or twice.
Yeah, because I'm like, you go to a new level. I mean, you see enemies, I'm ready to fight. Stand
Yeah.
in front of them when I hit attack, and then I don't do anything. I pull my sword out, and then I start getting slapped. I'm like, come on. Why don't you
Yeah.
start me with my weapon in my hand? Just little things like this game has little things like that annoy me. There's that. I'm not always sure what you can block with your shield. Like some guys would attack me, and I'd like block their whole combo, and then another guy would just like do a normal jump attack or something, and it would just hit me through my shield. So little stuff like that. I wasn't sure what all I could block. I hate at the end of the level when you get a bunch of treasure, you don't get to pick it all up, and it just like ends the level, so you miss stuff.
You gotta be quick.
Like, dude, why are you giving me all this stuff if I can't have it all? Like,
Yeah, in the tower level, how there's like a ton of different areas you can go in and like get the chests we mentioned earlier, and how Jordan said a lot of them were like booby trapped. I ended up just not even going in there on like my last playthrough because I'd end up losing more health or lives than I would if I just passed by it. Like the payout wasn't really worth it. I just kind of skipped over it.
I mean, that's where the lunge came in handy for me.
Past the lungeon past.
Yeah, I hit the chest, and then I'd like do the crouch, whatever, like the slide on the ground. I hurry up and slide around while like the rocks fell.
I'm also noticing, I don't know if there's any, like what this correlates to, but for some reason your character will be wearing different colors. Even on like the same
Yeah.
stage, like going in through like some doorways and then like coming back out of doorways, like your entire outfit would change colors. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, I don't know if that was like just it like matches like it's so the fighter wears armor. In my mind, it was kind of just like the color of the room like shining off of the armor is the way I kind of thought of it.
I mean, I'm talking like drastically. Like like I'm watching this video, and even in like the tower stage, this person is playing the elf, and it goes from wearing like the regular green suit, and then now all of a sudden it's an entirely like blue suit, and then at a different point it's all purple.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, when I was playing through, I remember starting one of the stages like, huh, I could have swore he was wearing something like a different color. I was like, maybe I was thinking of one of the other characters, so it kind of just like tripped me up. I didn't even know. It kind of made me second guess myself if I even knew what my character looked like.
Actually, I did think I was kind of weird, and I came out of the one door. I went in, had all my armor on. I came back out, and I was just like butt naked. I was like, man, I could have swore I wore something.
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
What happened in there?
We're talking about the game, Sky. We're not talking about real life.
Oh yeah. Oh, I walk around. You know, I just, I just randomly get butt naked all the time. I don't know what happens. I'm not aware of it or anything. Like I had to send me home from work one day. I was like, what's the problem? Like, dude, you have no clothes on. What are you doing here?
That's not the normal dress code at work.
Like, I got my boots on. We're good. Let's roll.
Safety first.
I got my PPE.
And your PP.
Yeah.
Only other thing I can really think to mention that we didn't talk about yet is the experience. So you gain experience throughout the game for defeating enemies, and also there's like jewelry and gems and stuff you can pick up. And as far as I know, I think that's all they do is give you experience when you pick them up. But then you can actually gain levels in between stages, which, for what I've seen, I think all that does is give you more HP, but I could be wrong.
That's all it said that it did.
It did. It would increase your HP bar.
Yeah, but it says every level you get +2 HP. And I don't know how much HP you even have because they don't tell you. You just have a bar. So I don't know how much 2 HP is, but it doesn't sound like much to me.
Hey, sometimes it's 5.
Each of the characters progress differently with their HP.
Well, the elf gets 2.
Can they all get to a full bar or no? I think with the
No.
dwarf, I had an entire bar full of HP.
Yeah, he ends up getting the most by the end of the game.
Okay, so they go like for real with those classes and like real D&D
Yeah.
stuff, I guess. Like the elves cannot get as much HP as a dwarf or something.
Right, yep.
Oh, okay.
So you have an entire like health bar. Some of it's green because that's your actual health. Some of it is red because that's the health that you lost, and then some of it is black. And you guys are saying that the black part is like not my max HP, it's like potential max HP?
Correct.
I believe
yeah.
so, yeah.
Yep,
I'm
that's
pretty
it.
sure with the dwarf, that whole bar was green.
Okay, because I was buying like the health potions, and it was like it would restore any red portion, but I still had like black part of my HP bar left, and I thought like, well, I'm not full HP yet. I'm trying to restore all of it, and I bought the health potion and it did nothing.
Yeah, because you were already full health.
Yeah, I think I read that like whenever this game was being made, they were really like determined to keep it like faithful to actual D&D. So I guess you said like about the dwarf HP or whatever is faithful to the game, so that explains that. But we talked this game to death, so Brad, this is your time to shine, my friend. Got to hit us with some numbers.
Alrighty, we're going to start off like we usually do, and with our credit usage. So, but you boys tell me how many credits it took you to complete this.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I spent like 20 when I got to the dragon. And then just fighting the dragon, I spent another 10. And then the game froze after that. So I was at 30 when the game froze.
Okay. That's tough to gauge off of, but at least we got a baseline of where you're at. What about you guys?
I'm assuming mine's not very good, especially compared to you guys who played it a bunch of times. Did it twice. First playthrough was 34 when I was just kind of learning everything. Second playthrough, I swear to God, I was doing so much better, and I still ended up with 32. So I guess not much better, but I thought I was. But 32 tokens for me.
That's not bad, honestly.
Well, I did better on my first run. I did worse on the run I'm on now. So I just stopped tracking tokens after this one because it's already worse. But Jordan,
Yeah.
you actually beat me with your tokens.
Wow.
I used 37.
Well, okay. Yeah, I did, like I said, multiple playthroughs. I think I did like 4 of them. My first one was pretty bad. I did 42 tokens. And then my best run with the cleric, I got down to 29.
Nice.
Actually, I wasn't even going to do a playthrough with the cleric. I was I wanted to at least have a general idea of him so I could see what he was like to talk about him. I was like, whoa, this dude's actually sick. So I ended up doing a full playthrough with it.
You saw that potential low token count. You're like, hey, maybe I'll keep playing this guy.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys, and let's put a rating on it. We're gonna go with 1,200.
Oh my god.
1,200. That's our magic number. That's because that's how much XP you get from killing the ball sack grabbers. So that's our
Oh
number.
boy. That's actually the fight I'm watching
Oh
right
my
now, I
God.
swear to God. That's a
What do you
hefty
give it?
number, man. 1,200, you said?
Yeah, 1,200 ball sack pinches. How many are you gonna take?
So, wow, that's a really tough one. That's such a high number. It's so hard to do.
To give you guys a chance. I mean, I planned mine ahead of time, so I got to come up with the number. So I am going with 986 out of 1,200. I feel like I said before, the game could have ended like around the Dark Elf fight, just because I did really good up to that point on my last run. I got up to him with like only 9 credits. Then after that, I feel like the game just kind of spikes in difficulty and gets pretty difficult after theirs, and it kind of raked in a lot more tokens out of me and was less fun.
Oh, I can't stop at the Shadow Elf, though. The final boss is so cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, well, I'll hop in. So I'll say, first and foremost, I think this is easily my second favorite game that we've done. Like, easily. To me, it's like Ninja Turtles at number 1, and this is number 2 by far. And then like a pretty big gap after that. So I really, really enjoyed this one. And I'm glad this is the one I picked very last second, because I do remember last time we were about to record and you said, hey, it's your game next. I didn't realize that. So I kind of just picked this out of thin air, and I'm glad I did, man. This was a lot of fun. As I said, I think this is something we should absolutely do 4 players next time we hang out. I think that would be a great time. But out of 1,200, I'm going to give it 1,117.
That is oddly
Okay.
specific.
I mean, Brad's was too, right?
Yeah.
I guess. I think maybe just. I mean, Brad's had like a 0 on the end. You got a 7 on the end. That's interesting.
1,117. It's got to be something fun, you know?
Yeah.
I'll probably give it maybe 800.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm trying to think of these big numbers. It's hard to. I'm just reducing it down.
tough.
I'm saying if it was out of like, let's just divide this by 10. So I'm giving it like an 8 out of 12. I think that's
Okay.
all right. It's over halfway. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty much felt like a beefed up Golden Axe, pretty much, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like better than Golden Axe, but the only thing Golden Axe has was really cool mounts and stuff that you could ride and attack enemies with, which is cool. But like other than that, I don't know. This game had all the magic, it had the classes in it, way more skill to it just because of all the button combos and all the moves you could do. You had to choose your own adventure. You had random side paths you could take and all that. I don't know. This game, it's probably one of the better beat 'em ups I've ever played. It's pretty cool, even if some of the parts are extremely brutal, like that dragon and the beholder and all that. But yeah, it's definitely a game worth playing. I liked it.
Kyle?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a solid 900.
Cool.
Yeah,
Always going Tony Hawk on that.
yeah, I'm gonna give it a 900, dude. I thought like the characters, even though I only played one, but after hearing you guys discuss the other characters, it is kind of surprising that they were all actually like seems kind of very different. Like aside from like the throwing weapons that most of the characters could share, like it's cool to have like sort of 2 different spellcasters, but they went far enough to make sure that it seems almost all of the spells were different between the 2 of them. And then like like the dwarf actually gets more health. And even it sounds like the level ups, when you're getting level ups, you guys were getting like more or less health and stuff depending on what class you were playing. All the different button combos, all the different enemies, the different choices, where I don't know that some of the choices really mattered one way or the other, but some of them definitely did matter, like fighting the dragon. So like the choices were cool, going through the stages and then having like the side doors that would, you'd have to fight like an enemy or 2 or dodge like a trap or something, and you could pick up chests to get more score, more items from that. I definitely wasn't expecting all that variety, so it was kind of cool. The only problem, I give it a 900 because it had a lot to it. I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I had like a slight issue with the actual fundamental like movement of the game, as far as like when I'm trying to like get on the same plane as the enemy to attack them. Like I don't know. To me, there felt like there was some sort of disconnect happening, where like something felt like sluggish or like not responding like smoothly, and that's like the whole core of the game. So it kind of threw me off. But everything else about it was awesome.
I can kind of agree with that. Especially if you're mashing the attack button and you kind of get stuck in a combo and it just feels like you're just standing there for forever. And
Yeah.
the enemy is now moved up and you have to wait till you're done with this stupid combo to now move up and follow him.
Yeah. It just felt like there was some slight disconnect on like what I was trying to do and what was happening. And then I don't think anybody even mentioned this, and I just am now remembering it, but also something that annoyed me a lot was like the enemies were like, they felt super evasive. Like they were constantly like trying to like get away from you or like jump away from you. Like they would not like attack unless it was almost like you were playing against like another person, every single enemy, because like they kind of knew like what the ranges were. Like it was very odd for like these type of games. Like usually you can find like a pretty decent pattern to like hit the enemies, but this felt like every enemy I tried to fight, like I felt like I was fighting the same two guys for like 2 minutes apiece. Like you know what I mean? They were just like constantly evading you. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, those guys were in Diamond League, man.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I get it. Like it added to the difficulty, but it just felt like, all right, dude. Like we know how this is gonna end. Like let's just do this.
I have an unlimited supply of tokens. Like you will die soon.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now, Kyle, do you think you're ever going to go back and play it again so you can finish the final dungeon?
I would not go back and play this solo, but I would play this like you said. I think this is one of the very few games that we've played so far where I think it would actually be much better in a group and would actually be kind of fun because all the characters are so different. And then I think like fighting some of these enemies that I said were being like overly evasive wouldn't be as bad, because like I think it would be harder for them to like, you know, jump away from me and not land near one of you guys and get killed.
Yep.
The controls and like how slow the game is in general is kind of what knocks points off for me. Especially coming from Dead Cells to this, I was like, man, I'm used to super fast, lightning gameplay, and then you play one of these games, it's like like I feel like I'm going like turtle speed, man.
Somebody say turtle speed. Well, let's see. Let's see where this lands among our rankings. It's similar to Turtles, another beat 'em up. So I don't know. It wasn't. I'm sure it's not going to be up that high, just because that was Jordan's big game right there. But overall, I thought like the gameplay, the mechanics, the choices, all the things you can do, I think it makes for a better game than Turtles. But I don't think it deserves to be above it. But just as a beat 'em up, I think this one's pretty solid.
I mean, I think Kyle would agree with me here, but the best beat 'em up ever is Dungeon Fighter Online.
Oh, yeah, by far.
You're not unseating that. That's the king.
Yeah, they don't know anything about that.
No, they don't. Well, actually, they do want to know about that.
They want to know, they just don't know.
They just don't know they know, but we know.
You know what I know?
What do you know?
DFO isn't on our list, so we don't got to worry about that tonight.
That's true. It'll never be on the list. But if it was.
I got the list pulled up, and I know exactly where it's going.
To me, this is pretty easy based on this list that we put together. This absolutely, in my mind, goes in between Turtles and Mega Twins, going in at number 4. Like I said, if this was my own personal list, this is easily number 2. But based on the one we've put together, this absolutely feels to me like it has to go at number 4, above Mega Twins and below Turtles.
I am okay with it, at least at number 4. I personally would put this above Turtles, but that's just me.
Well, it's not just you, it's me too.
Uh-oh.
I would also put this.
No way.
I would guarantee put it above Mega Twins, so 100% it would go at least number 4. But also, I would put this above Turtles.
Oh, this is below Turtles.
I'm not as passionate as you guys about it, but I personally pretty much say anywhere between Turtles and Boogie Wings. I honestly like Mazinger better because I just like that style of game I've noticed, but somewhere in that range.
I'm getting this game below Turtles at least. It's going to number 4.
I don't know, man. If you asked me which one of these I had to play, I would pick this over Turtles. There's way more variety to it. Like I said, dude, if you put the Ninja Turtles theme onto this game, you would love it.
Nostalgia counts, okay? It counts in this as well. It's
It
below.
it does, but when I play them now, recently, this game was way more fun to me than Turtles was.
I still think Turtles controls and feels a lot smoother, at least.
Turtles was faster. I'll give it that. I felt like I was moving through the game quicker in that. I like the controls better.
Nah, if y'all get to have Alien Syndrome and JJ Squawkers at 1 and 2, two games that I didn't like at all, then I'm getting my Ninja Turtles above this. It's only one spot difference anyway.
I mean, hey, if we're just being honest, man, I personally like it more than Turtles. That's just me.
That's fair. That's fair. You're allowed to.
Hey man, I go above Turtles on this, dude. You guys know how I feel. I thought Turtles was, I don't know, 80% nostalgia, 20% the actual game. And if it wasn't for the skin and the music, if you would take that away from Turtles, I don't think any of us would even like that game.
I call absolute bullshit.
Nope.
No, dude, I
The game
agree
is
with that.
so
I'm
much
sorry.
fun. It's so much fun. You're out of your mind.
So you're saying if you replaced all the Ninja Turtle characters with characters from Vamp, you would enjoy it?
I mean,
Let's
yeah,
be
the
honest. Jordan, you're 100% nostalgia on that game. That
No, dude,
gameplay
Turtles
is trash
plays
on that
so
game.
much better than Vamp. Come on, it is not trash at all. It's so smooth. It
Bro,
feels
it's
so
the
great.
most
It's a
standard
great
beat 'em up you can think of. Come on.
Dude, it feels so good. Come on.
It's a classic. I'm not going to argue that, but it is not a groundbreaking
I don't
game.
know if you guys remember my deep dive into Turtles, all those behind the scenes mechanics that you guys didn't even know about.
So wasn't there like one mechanic? Everyone has like their own one role or something. One guy rolls, the other guy does something else.
Nah, just like the way like you can use different attacks and stuff. We don't gotta go into that. You can go back and listen to that last episode.
You
if
guys
you
go
want,
back
Kyle.
and listen to that one, then come back to this one, and you'll see.
Listen. All I'm saying here is if you guys can have Squawkers at number 2, a game that I would have in like the bottom 3 of everything that we've played, I can at least get this game below a Ninja Turtles. It's only a 1 spot difference.
Hey, I mean, every game is gonna have to be majority, whatever the people vote.
I'm not against Jordan with this one. I think Turtles is honestly just there, like we said, because nostalgia and because the theme and the music, but I think that's okay. If we're just talking pure gameplay, I'd put Mazinger above most of these games. So I'm cool with this D&D hitting 4.
All right, well, we need a tiebreaker. 'Cause we got 2 and 2.
Now we got to
The
look at our
tiebreaker
score.
is I let you guys put Squawkers at 2. It's terrible.
No, Squawkers.
Oh,
was
no,
at
no,
2
you didn't.
because,
Hold up.
Hey,
You didn't let
hey,
anything.
How many times?
Yeah.
Squawkers put himself at 2.
Yeah.
How many episodes now have I said, okay, I don't want this, but I'll let you guys do it? It's time for me to
That's not-
cash in,
That's
damn
not
it.
how
Bro,
a list
bro.
works.
No, yeah. Jordan, you're getting confused here. You're not letting anything happen. These games make themselves happen.
But it's a tie. It's a 2v2 tie.
Wait,
so
Jordan.
I deserve this.
You better watch throwing shade on Squawkers. I'm on your side for now.
Yeah, you got it.
I can shift
I mean,
real
Mazinger
quick.
Z is a great game, though.
It is. I would put Mazinger above Mega Twins. I don't even know why it's at number 5, to tell you the truth.
I agree. Hard agree.
I don't even know what that's... Looking at this list, I'm like, wait a minute. What's that doing there?
How'd that fluke happen?
That was probably us saying, Jordan, we'll let you put Mega Twins above Mazinger.
It was actually.
No,
Actually,
go ahead
that's
and put-
exactly what
okay,
happened.
Hold on. Go ahead and put Mazinger above Mega Twins and put D&D below Ninja
No.
Turtles.
You can have that.
Okay, I know how to solve this.
Let's hear it.
We're gonna do the trivia, and we're gonna go. Actually, this is kind of biased. Maybe we'll come up with something different. I'll throw this out here. Skylar and I want this to be number 3, so we're gonna do trivia, and if either Skylar or I get the most questions right on trivia, then it goes at 3. But if Brad gets the most questions right, then it goes below Turtles.
But that's 2v1.
That's what I'm saying. It was a little biased because it was 2v1. So if you want something better, that's what I'm coming up with now on the spot. If you have a better
Yeah.
idea.
I have given in on this list so many times. Come on. I've given in so many times.
We can come to a conclusion with
What's
just
the
words
conclusion?
here, boys. We can do this. We can work this out.
No, the time for words is over!
I'm sorry. This is
Just slap
supposed
it
to
at
be
4.
a list of what game is better than what game. And if my opinion is that this game is better than Turtles, I can't let it go below Turtles just off of feelings.
I definitely remember you guys in the past saying, yeah, we'll owe you one later. So much for that.
Did we say that? I don't remember that.
Yes. I don't remember if it was recorded or if it was post-recording, but there was definitely a time where I'm like, man, I keep giving you guys these, and you're like, yeah, we'll make it up later. You can have a little bit more leeway.
If I recall, Jordan, wasn't he happy with Turtles at least being in top 4? This would still be in top 4.
Yeah, technically.
Like at the end of whenever this show is like done for good in the year like 2039, I want it in the top 4 then.
I see.
At least.
Oh, well, I'm sure it'll work its way back up. Let's just.
That was my personal assurance that everyone should at least have one of their favorite games in the top 4, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Since there's 4 of us, we should at least each get like one veto. Where like this is guaranteed in the top 4.
Veto, oof.
Okay, so you're saying that like basically 1 through 4 is gonna end up being someone's like it's almost like the golden buzzer. Like if you play a game, everyone else could hate it, but if that's your number 1, then you get to pretty much golden buzzer that game and put it in the top 4. So really, the list doesn't actually start until 5 down.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great idea overall.
Right? That's how it would work out. 1 through 4.
You don't like that, Jordan? All right, Turtles is dropping that because it doesn't belong that
No,
high.
I'm fine with it. I'm just explaining that that's the way it's gonna work.
Nostalgia's powerful, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it being that way. I'm just breaking down. That's how the list will work then. 1 through 4 will be like
number 1 then.
will be like someone's number 1 pick, and then like the actual compromise of the list would start at 5.
That was my general idea, but however we want to run it.
Messy.
It's messy. It's pretty straightforward.
I could cave in and put this at 4, but I'm definitely not putting Mega Twins above this game.
There it is. Put it at 4.
I could probably put it at 4.
Oh, you big
2.5
softy!
versus 1.5.
But I personally think this is definitely above Turtles, gameplay wise.
Jordan, real quick, you being against that idea, that's mostly there for you. The 3 of us are always pretty mutual on what we agree. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll give you a guaranteed lock in the 4.
Jordan's flustered right now. He's not thinking straight.
We are not gonna play games better than Ninja Turtles or more nostalgic. The nostalgia is powerful. It factors in.
I'm just
Bro, there's already
you.
2 games on this list better than Turtles. Have you looked at it?
Your opinion is dog shit.
All right, guys, let's just put this at 4. Everyone, we're gonna agree with that. Let's get this over with.
Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah.
Am I caving too soon?
I think you're a big softy, dude.
Oh man, I'm trying to keep everybody happy here.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm standing firm with this is better than Turtles.
I agree.
Okay, you know what? We'll do Kyle's idea then. How about you two pick one of you two to face Brad for the trivia, and that will decide it.
Okay, I vote Skylar because he actually finished the game.
All right,
Oh,
want some
geez.
extra stakes in there. So
All right,
Sky
let's go.
beats Brad.
Jordan's about to be feeding Brad answers through Discord.
Yeah.
He's gonna text them to me.
Brad, check your phone.
Got it. I'm ready.
All right, let's see how this trivia works out.
So yeah, I guess we'll just do it that way. If Sky beats Brad at trivia, then we'll put this up at 3, correct? And if Brad beats Sky at trivia, it's gonna go at 4.
Yep.
Right.
Or
All right.
I'm gonna say if they tie, it goes at 4 as well, since Sky was kind of.
Whoa.
Oh no, because Sky was leaning towards saying it was okay, and I said no, we'll do it the more fun way.
No, if they tie, then I get to choose.
If you beat
No,
us.
what? No.
If you beat us both.
If I beat them.
That's okay. Next episode, we can just we'll bump Turtles back down to 4.
Oh wait, here we go. This is easy. If Sky or Kyle wins, it goes up. If I win or I tie for the lead, it goes down.
That's what I originally said, but Jordan didn't like it because it's biased because it's technically 2 versus 1.
Not if you count a tie. I get the winning tiebreakers. That gives me a slight edge.
Yeah, but you have to beat both of us.
Or just tie you both and I win.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Okay, let's
do
just
it.
do it. Let's
Are
do
we
it
ready
live.
for-
Let's
Do
get
it
ready
live.
for trivia?
Let's
Yep.
get into it, boys.
All right. I absolutely hate this, and I swear to God, you guys owe me at some point. I swear to God, you owe me at some point. All right, hopping into trivia. I will give you guys the total as of right now. Sky is in the lead with 20. Brad and Kyle have 16. Brad, we need you to come through today, my friend.
Yeah.
Question
see.
number 1. The first time Tower of Doom was ported to a console was only in Japan in the year 1999. It was for what console? A. Sony PlayStation. B. Sega Saturn. C. Sega Dreamcast.
I'll go with the Saturn.
I'm gonna go with PlayStation.
I think I'm going with Saturn also on that one.
It is Sega Saturn. You guys ever have a Sega Saturn? Because I know it wasn't a very big successful console, but I had one and I loved it.
Wow, I
Nope,
didn't know
never had
people
it.
like you existed.
I still have it, dude. It's in my game room. It still works. My original one still works, man.
I always thought it sounded awesome, but I never played one.
Anyway, let's move on here. Question number 2. The 4 playable characters are each given official default names in the sequel. What is the name of the fighter character? A. Crassus, B. Greldon, C. Dimsdale.
I'm gonna say Crassus.
That's what I'm leaning towards also, Crassus.
What was the middle one? The second one?
It was Greldon.
All right, I'm going with that one.
Okay, so all 3 of these ones are names of the characters. The fighter is A. Crassus.
Oh, I see what's going on here. B's gonna pick all mine, so he ties me and takes it.
Yep.
I hope he does.
Classic strategy.
I see his
I
tactic
hope
here.
he does, man.
I answered first on the first one.
That's true. That's
Right.
true.
All right, Sky, you have to answer this one first. Question.
Oh,
Question number 3. The sword swinging animation that the fighter does after defeating a boss is taken directly from what previous Capcom beat 'em up? A. The King of Dragons. B. Warriors of Fate. C. Knights of the Round.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm just gonna say Knights of the Round.
I'm gonna go with A.
My strategy's out the window. All right, I'm going with B.
All right, Brad, you let me down, man.
Ah.
It was Knights of the Round.
Woo!
Clean sweep for Mr. Bad Opinion Sky.
Cowabunga!
Woof.
Hey, who turned out the lights? Sorry, Jordan. I just knocked you down a manhole, bro. I'm sorry.
You guys are the worst. We're not friends. And you know what? When I host the next time, I'm not gonna say my 3 best friends in the world anymore. I'm gonna say my best friend Brad and his 2 brothers. All right, whatever. Put it at 3. You guys owe me.
Oh man.
There it is, boys. That's justice being served.
I hope so bad that someone listening to this episode sends us an email and says, man, you guys really gave Jordan the short end of the stick on this one. I think that...
I don't think so. I think if they played both games in their heart of hearts, if they took out the 80% nostalgia from Turtles...
You can't take out the nostalgia. It's part of it.
You can't take it out, but I think you're letting it roll way too much heavily on the game. The game itself is not that good.
Yeah, there's a lot of games I played when I was little I thought was awesome. And I play them now, I'm like, dude, these games suck.
I think they should just email the show and say that you guys were not treating Jordan very fairly, and it was very rude of you.
Hey, you got to pick the trivia thing here. You pick the tiebreaker.
Listen, I should have just went with what you were saying, Sky. You were starting to kind of lean toward the middle. I should have.
I know. I was starting to compromise. Kyle pulled me back to the dark
Did you
side.
really want his pity vote? Because that's what you were getting. Because he didn't think the game
Yes, I
should
wanted
be
his
below.
pity vote.
He was okay with it.
Of course, I
Take
wanted
what
the
he can
pity
get.
vote.
He said, yes, give me
Why
that
would I
pity vote.
not? Jeez.
Please, pity me.
All right, I'm wrapping this. This is such a long episode.
is
I'm
the
wrapping
longest
this bitch
one.
up. This is a really long one, man.
It's a deep
man, I got
game.
all these weird pop-ups popping up again. Man, there was, like I said at the beginning, there's gonna be a lot to talk about. This game is pretty sweet. But anyway, that doesn't matter next time, because next time on Arcadiology, we have Bucky O'Hare. You can follow us on all social media. I've been kind of slacking posting on them, but you can still follow them anyway, and I'll get around to it at some point. Twitter, not calling it X, Instagram, TikTok. I made a Snapchat. If enough people start following the Snapchat, I'll start actually posting on it, but I'm not going to until people actually follow it. You can email us and tell everyone else how unfair they were to me at arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com. Any of you D&D fans who also want to email and say about how poorly I pronounce things, by all means, please go ahead. Leave us 5-star reviews, and I might read them on the air. I don't. We haven't gotten like an actual like review yet, have we? We've gotten like the 5-star ratings, but not an
Yeah.
actual full review. Correct?
Correct.
write me a review so I can read it on the air and have some fun with that. This was an emotional roller coaster, boys. But I'm glad we did this. It was a fun time, boys. Go ahead and tell everybody goodbye.
See ya.
Later, dudes.
Peace.
Insert closing line here. Goodbye.